This video is brought to you by Ravenscraft Realty of Northeast Missouri. It's Sunday morning. Last night I did a bunch of buffing and waxing on the 4020 here, and today I finally decided to address the oil leak here off the oil cooler tower. So I got the this pipe off, and there doesn't appear to be an O-ring or anything down here, so that leads me to believe that the O-ring up here at the top has disintegrated or degraded in some way. So I got to get it out of there. It's up there in that little hole. I got to get that out of there and replace it and then put it back together. And always use grease when you're putting O-rings back in. It really helps things to slide a little bit easier, and hopefully you don't tear your new O-ring and then have to start over. Now, this was about the last oil leak that I had up here off the engine. Of course, you know, old oil pans, they leak. It leaks off of the plug right here, and nothing off the turbo drain. I need to take that off too and get that hose redone. I also need to replace the fuel filter, but look how shiny that hood is. And people think that you always need to repaint a tractor. Nah, you don't need to do that. You can see me in the paint. And so this is the original paint here. This is an old repaint, probably done by a dealer. And then this drain hose, I need to cut like a foot out of that someday. That wasn't too hard. It just took about 45 seconds with the pick, but I had to break it there to get it out. It's probably just old and shriveled up and no longer working. Because the first year I had this thing, it didn't leak from right here, and it has since then. So I don't know why it took so long to replace a 5-cent O-ring. I have my O-ring here, and we go over to the drawer that says O-rings and grease zerks. Lo and behold, we have the inch fitting O-rings. So let's see if we can find the right one. All right, I think we have a match. I just got to get it off of this very cryptic holding device that John Deere puts them on. Yep, here's the new one, old one. Yeah, I think that's the one. Well, that was easy. Just pop the tube back in and cinch it back down. And yes, I know I'm using a crescent wrench. I just didn't want to find the right one. I don't think I introduced this new piece of equipment, which is a John Deere 709 mower, probably made sometime in the 1980s. And my new mower is a pretty good match for the 4020 for fitting places that I probably shouldn't be able to fit with a tractor and a mower. It's like 7 foot wide. It covers the tracks for the tractor a little bit better than that 6-footer I had last summer. I just pulled both of the blades off and sharpened them. They were kind of, if I was going to use it like every day in the summer, I'd probably have gotten new blades. But for what I'm going to do, maybe 30 hours over the summer, it'll probably be fine. I greased all of the joints in this thing and checked the oil in the gearbox, and it all passed. So I think I'm going to brave the sub 32 degree cold and take this back over to Grandpa's where its permanent home is. I don't need to worry about it, using it until like mid to late June anyway. So it can go somewhere else that's not in the way.
Sometimes I question this boy's intelligence. It's 20 degrees and 50-mile-an-hour wind. Feels like, I don't know, single digits probably. Out here driving this 4020 around. Not sure. I am in the Gator doing some more boundary work. I've done a lot of these already. Some of them a couple of times, but the first year we did it, we were on Radio RTK. We're on the Starfire RTK now, so some of them have yet to be done with this correction. Some of them I wasn't happy with, so redoing them. At least I can turn the heat on. It is cold. Gonna be really cold this week, but I figure I can work on this and stay in the heat and not be too bad.
After a slight amount of oil on my hands and general frustration at everything, I did fix my turbo drain hose, which previously stuck out in here and kind of meandered its way down. Now it's nice and tucked away against the side of the tractor, and also not egregiously hanging down on the bottom side either. Due to the frustration involved, I did not video anything, but most of what I did amounted to cutting 8 inches out of that, and then new fitting on this end, and another 45-degree fitting here to make everything jive, I guess. And I did have to zip tie. Just don't look at that, and I hope it doesn't go over here, but it shouldn't. A much more streamlined look on the 4020 now. I think that's about all the work that's going to get done in the shop today. It's about 5:30, and my friend Mason is having a dinner tonight at the American Legion in town for insurance purposes, and it was a free steak, so why not go? Mom just gave me a ride up here to the tire place in town. Had to replace a tire on the dump truck. The old dump truck here failed inspection because of a leaking exhaust manifold gasket and a bad front steer tire. But luckily the tire shop is about 400 yards away from the inspection point. We use Midway Freightliner up here in Palmyra. So just got to run in here and tell those guys, hey, we got the tire replaced. They'll come and look at it and say, yeah, you got the tire replaced, and then they'll sign the paper and give me a sticker. I'd just like to say that this is the most gutless dump truck that there ever was. 3116 Caterpillar engine, can't pull itself up a hill. Everyone loves the cold start, so we're going to do on the 8400 here. Due to my own fault, I screwed up the corner of the cab there. Hello, kitty. But got to get it in the shop, and it's cold. It's like 19 degrees. So we're going to get this thing started. It's been plugged in, so maybe not a true legitimate cold start, but I'm going to hop up there and get this thing cranking. Black cat. Meow. I'm really a little underwhelmed by that. Now I got the ripper out of the shop, and it just barely kind of fit in this building, and it didn't even come close to fitting in the south shed over there. So at some point I have to go close the door, and that's going to be a very, very cold and chilly sort of a job. Progress on the Peterbilt headache rack modification. We've run into a small problem, which is that we can get a U-bolt around this part right here, but we can't get a U-bolt around it on this part of it because there is a cross member in the way. My very creative and innovative solution to this is to get another piece of aluminum, drill 4 holes in it, drill 4 corresponding holes on this little plate here, and then have a very similar piece of aluminum I-beam coming off of it about yay far, just to get enough length of frame so that we can U-bolt everything together, because these U-bolts are not structural, they're just there to hold it down. And the reason that we went with a headache rack over full fenders is because that was $750 and full fenders were like $2,500, so it was the money. But this truck will be very, very cool when it is eventually finished. 4020 is mostly done, and it can probably go back to Grandpa's now. I do still need to figure out a right-hand side rock shaft cover, because this third remote plate that I use is about that much more thick than a legitimate 20 series plate, and because of that, the remotes are moved back a little ways, and you can't get the sheet metal for the rock shaft cover over this. I'll probably find one that's toast and cut it out in such a way. I don't really feel like cutting my rock shaft cover for this tractor up and butchering it, so I have an idea. Somewhere I'm going to find a rock shaft cover that has already been butchered up and do a little cutting action in it. So this is the bottom of it. So I'll just make a nice U-shaped cutout for the remotes. That way all the linkages and things are covered. I did have to break down and order the OEM John Deere shift cables because, well, I couldn't figure anything out with the Bunker Hill cable guys. So $1,300 John Deere shift cables it is. And tomorrow, I think we're going to start taking the roof off the 8400. And to do that, you got to take the mirrors off, you got to take the lights and the blinkers off. It's going to be quite the production. And we're also probably going to take the hood back off of this tractor because, well, being the blade tractor, sometimes it encounters some physical abuse, and there's currently a nice dent in the hood right there. But despite this tractor's pretty rough appearance, it only has 4,500 hours on it, which is nearly unheard of for a tractor made in 1995. No, it's got to be a later 8400 because the decals are the later style. Not exactly sure what year it was made in, but it's still a pretty low-hour tractor for being an 8400. The sprayer boom is also on the fix-it list. We have the new one, which we got reinforced, sitting down the ground right there. Just have to undo everything, take the old one off, put the new one on, and refasten things. Though some progress has been made in the shop in the last week since I put up a video. It's Wednesday night right now. I'm hoping that I can have this edited and up for you guys on tomorrow, which is Thursday at 5 o'clock. Also been selling some random stuff, so trying to scrape some money together for a different toolbox for my pickup, one that goes across the bed for bigger hand tools and things like that. Things that I just don't want to get wet or really rusty, and I also don't want in the cab. But anyways, thank you all for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next one. And yeah, stick around. We appreciate you watching. Look at those eyes. Look at those eyes, the crazy eyes. What do you girls think, huh? You guys are all wound up. All right, catch you later.